G'day everyone, you'll never guess what, we've been at it again. It's Temu time. I was actually expecting 2 packages today. They were both coming at the same time. Now I don't know if they've put both packages in one or whether we're going to get another one later. But what do you reckon we've got this time? I can't even say I know what's in there because it could be one or the other. And it's one. Oh, okay. Let's make a start. First one up. We'll have to have a shot at this. I'll put the prices up there as usual. And I will state right now that these are not sponsored by Temu. I buy all this with my own money. However, they've contacted me and asked me if I'd like to do some sponsored ones. To which I said, of course I will. Anything free. I don't normally do sponsorships because if I want to buy something, I'm doing this for fun. The people I'm buying from do it for a living. However, Temu's a little bit different. They're a big mob and they can suffer it. So, what I bought is a little silicone mat to help with telling when our sourdough rises. And it is cheap, flimsy. It probably has the right sort of measurements on it. It doesn't sit very flat. See if it's non-stick. That'll be the interesting part. If it is non-stick, it'll be worth it. But I don't think it was very expensive. I'll have to look it up. So far, not impressed. That is just a silly sheet of plastic with some printing on it. And it doesn't sit flat. So we'll lay it down and weight it down and see if it uncurls, but I don't think that's going to be particularly good. As I expected that wouldn't be very good, I bought another one. And this one is meant to be heat-proof as well. And it is proper silicone. You can feel that. So again, it's to help us with the rising of the dough. Prices up there. And I've got 2 of them. Black one. And a red one. And the red one is because red is faster. We all know that. So if we want it to rise faster, we'll use the red one. Not true. But this allows us to have it rise on here. Then we can just lift it up, drop it into our pot. And that is meant to be able to handle, written on there, 230 degrees C. So it's 100% silicone according to this. And I think they might work quite well. So we'll give them a shot as well. Means we're going to have to do 2 lots of dough. What do we get next? This is some cheesecloth. Now, which ones are these? These are, just some cheesecloths sewn at the edges, pretty much for general use, covering our dough or using it with our cheese straining, etc. And it looks like a pretty good quality. It doesn't feel like it's synthetic in any way, and it doesn't actually say what it's made of. But it's stitched all the way around quite neatly. Yeah, I think for the money we paid for it, that's fine. So that's just a general piece of cheesecloth to cover up our bread making or whatever we happen to be doing. And here we go. I bought another mixing kit for a couple of reasons. This is for our sourdough starter. And what I liked about it was 2 little pieces. In here it's got a whole bunch of items. Got 2 temperature scales. It has 2 little bands around so that we can have a couple of starters going. And it's marked with the day and the time so I can remember when I've fed things. And that actually looks pretty good. It's good elastic. It's stitched around with a little holder there. If you want to come out and have a look. So I've got a little stitch patch there to hold it together. And we've got days of the week, times of the day, so that we can spin it around and mark off when we set our starter off, and keep track of what's going on with the starter. So that's going to be really handy. It also came with 2 temperature gauges, which sort of work. Not showing up any temperature at the moment, so it's obviously no temperature in here. Oh, it is pretty cool, and only goes down to 18 degrees C. So they're always handy. And importantly, these little lids. The one I had before somebody threw out by accident. But these little caps, much nicer than just getting a bit of cheesecloth and draping it over with a lacquer band. So I thought that was nice. And another little spatula thingy. And this is much better than the other one I've got. It was much more solid. There we go. Yeah, it's a little bit better. A bit thicker in the middle. Got a little blade on the edge. So that will also be handy. So I've got 2 of them now, which is great. I'll transfer the starter over that I've got out in the back fridge just in a normal jar. But I do have something else along those lines. Alright, big box. 2 big boxes. There's more in here than I thought. This might be both deliveries, I think. I'll go and check. What have we got in here? Oh, yes. Remember we got that cane banneton for bread raising? Well, I bought another one, but it's silicone. And it came with this silly little thing, which is for sprinkling the flour on. So we can fill it up with flour there, close it up, and then use it to sprinkle flour on. It is very cheap, doesn't really line up very well, but we shall give it a shot and sprinkle some rye flour with our patterns that we've got over the top, see if it bakes nicely. Anyway, that wasn't the reason I bought that kit. The reason I bought that kit is I have 2 bannetons in here, and they're silicone, so we should be able to bake in them, but I won't. And they're collapsible. So here they are out of the packet, nice soft silicone. And when I push them out, we have 1 banneton. And we don't have to line these. So we've got a oval one, but we also got a circular one. And there we go. So just little silicone bowls for our proving of the bread. Nice size, really nice thick silicone or rubbery material. Hopefully it's silicone, I don't know. But I certainly wouldn't bake in these things. It says it can handle 230 degrees C. I'm not so sure it would. But, as I said, collapsible. So we can store them easier. And really good size. I like those. I think they're going to be really good. Camera person, we're going to have to do some more bread baking. The camera person just pointed out something really interesting. This spatula actually appears better than the other one we have from a name brand store. This is actually a Mad Millie kit that we got, and this is a spatula that came with it. And this one has a much nicer shape to it, being thicker in the middle. It's longer by a fraction, but the blade's longer, which is better. And I think if it's not better, it's at least every bit as good as this Mad Millie one. But we'll see how they last. That'll be the interesting part. For our next bit, what do we have here? Oh, it's a silicone cake mold. So it's more of the banneton type stuff. Which I bought by mistake by the look of it. Because I bought those 2, and I bought another one exactly the same. I think that was an error on my part. I didn't mean to buy 2 of these, and it looks absolutely identical to the 2-pack that I got. It is absolutely identical. So that was a boo-boo on my part. I think I ordered 2 instead of 1. But, as I said, they look good. And our penultimate. Oh, hang on, there's one other thing in there. Oh, it's one of those that I've already got. And some more razor blades for scoring the loaf. Does it come with a little leather sachet thing? Keep it safe. Yes, it does. There we go, and it's got that. Already got one of these. Very handy. Now we've got 2 of them. Now this should be a jar, I think. Haha, just what we needed. This is really good. It's another one. It seems to be everything you buy comes with one of these little spatulas. And by the look of it, this is identical to our Mad Millie one. Very similar. No, it's slightly bigger and thinner. So we've got another one. It's quite heavy. Nice silicone on it. So we've got more spatulas. More spatulas than you can spat at. So that's not the reason I got this. The reason I got this was this. Another one of those. And that looks the same as the one we've already got. And the reason I bought this is, if you see my other video, we got a really nice rye starter from our friends at Risen Flour. And I don't have another jar, and I didn't want to throw out my white flour starter because they'll give slightly different tastes to the bread. So I need another jar for it. And this came with a little lid, a temperature gauge, a whole bunch of labels, which I don't really use, and some lucky bands to mark the level, which I won't use because I'm going to use these. And there we go, we can see it on the jar now. Bear with me. So if we turn that around and we say it is Wednesday today and it's just after 12, I can put it here with the level and we can see that it's Tuesday about 12 o'clock. So we know when we started that one off, and that's the reason I bought this little kit. And it has a proper seal there that can go on top if we're storing it for a long period of time, which I really should do on the ones I'm keeping in the fridge. So I bought this mostly for the jar. I won't use these lackey bands. We'll use them for something else. I've got extra temperature gauges in case I need them. So I think that's going to work out rather well, don't you?
Yeah.
And I'll put that on my other sourdough starter. I've got one other thing, which is not really to do with gardening, but I thought I'd take a real gamble. And I bought a little camera to help with the filming and what have you, and see if it'll work with the microphones. We'll give that a shot. I'll let you know if we're using this camera, and let me know back if you think it's giving us a reasonable sort of quality. I should be able to tell, but it was only $28, I think, or something around there. Price up there. So I thought, why not? Give it a shot. And of course, I had to buy a couple of memory cards to run it. Right, so overall, what have we ended up with? I've mixed it up, so I'm not really sure exactly what I bought, but it's really only in 2 categories. These collapsible bannetons, I reckon are going to be great guns, but we'll have to see when we try them, give them a wash, but I think they're really good. The other kits that I bought with the measurements things and the jar, lots and lots of spatulas that we've got, really good. I think they're also wonderful. This, which came with one of the kits, I didn't buy it for this. I think is going to be absolute junk and will end up in the bin fairly quickly because it is just so flimsy and weak. And as I said, it doesn't line up very well. I don't think it's going to work, but we'll give it a try when we bake our next lot of bread, and you can see if it actually does work. The silicon mats, I think, are going to be good because they are silicon and that'll stop things sticking. And the cheesecloth was just a cheesecloth. The only one I think is going to be of absolutely no use whatsoever, no matter how little it cost, is this one, because it is so incredibly flimsy. It's all curled up. I'm not even sure it's really silicon, so I think that's going to be a bit of a loss. But again, in our next bake, we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. So what do you reckon? You bought any of this stuff? If you have, let me know in the comments what you think of it. Enjoy life, and I'll catch you in the garden.